All right, now if we go to this next slide, this is what we do when we work with a team, and we will profile all the players and then we'll map them against what their actual profiles are, and we'll look at the team dynamics. What does that actually look like? And what's the impact of having, for example, not enough Ds, or zero, or too many Is, or too many S's, or too many C's, or not enough of any one population? Like, you want to get really clever with your coaching, this is where it's at. But if you look at this model here, when we look at perfect team dynamic, we're not just looking at, the degree to which, the percentages of the norm group match the percentages of your team. That would be too simplistic to suggest that perfect team dynamic has to match the normal population. We've had teams that have had championship success that looked a little bit like this. We're working with a team at the moment that's about to win their conference, and they've got a lot of Ds, not a lot of S's, which is the opposite of what you'd expect. It is what it is. There's almost defining what a perfect team dynamic is really hard to do, but mainly it comes down to the degree to which the players understand what they got. So for example here, you tell me, what do you think we might be missing if we're missing players that fulfill that D gap? So have a look at, flick back a couple of slides. What are we missing? You're missing these behaviours. So what does that look like on the field? They could be disorganised.
Nobody taking any leadership, no one going forward.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be someone, there's no one on the field who's naturally wanting to dictate, direct, tell people what to do, take control of the situation. Now, we're not saying that whilst we've got leadership for the Ds, we're not saying that they're good leaders. They just like to have a leadership role. They can be excellent leaders if they understand how to work with all these different styles, just the same as the I's, the S's and the C's can all provide great leadership. If they do what? If they adapt and understand, and it's the same concept. If they are self-aware and they know where they need to perhaps be more directive, the same as if a D knows where they need to be a little more patient and tolerant and respectful of the people they're coaching. Okay, so if you think about the context of a team without those Ds, you're basically going to be missing a team with this. By the same token, if you have a team without I's, what are you going to be missing? Okay, look at all the strengths of the I style. Okay, if you have a team without S's, you'll have a team that doesn't play for each other. What I mean by that is that D's and I's tend to be more individualistic. And you need that, but you need players that are going to play for each other. Okay, you need players who don't turn up because they want to be the star on the team. Okay, by the same token, this all relates to our coaching style as well. Okay, the C's, you can see the strengths of these as well. Yeah, they are, and we don't want to go changing someone. We don't want to go saying that, oh, you're an S, so we got to shift you to be more D-like or I-like. Everyone's valuable to a team. You can't do without any of them. I mean, what would be the issue of having a whole team of Ds? Well, basically, who's going to be the boss of that? And there's going to be a lot of conflict. It's going to be pretty. What about too many I's?
Not going to get much done.
Exactly. It's going to be a lot of fun, though, right? Too many S's, too slow to react, too slow to get things done. And you actually will see this. If a team has too many S's in it, it is slow to start. I don't know if the C's and the S's noticed that during that activity, that jigsaw puzzle. Who was the last team to actually move to come and get the pieces off me?
S.
Well, both the S's and C's. Okay, but they will stick with it. So even though they're slow to start, if they get behind on the scoreboard early, they will grind out a win. But they'll do it, they'll really grind it out. Too many of these ones, what happens? Over-analysis and overly structured too. Okay, and there won't be a lot of variety in how they go about doing what they do.